wrong with that story. Okay, real quick. I was going to try to get to a pretty good story. I'm going to try to do it real quick. Everybody was out for Halloween in some capacity. We're just going to go through it. You know, a quick rundown. Brandon, we were basically at the same place, so you'll just say my part. Take it away.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Me and Angie dressed as Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny from Space Jam, the Toon Squad. We obviously went to that Tequila Garden place, Pilos. We went to Pilos. The Phillies were playing in the World Series, came back from 5-0, and then we lost the following day. I pulled one out of Khalil and Brandon's playbook. I was watching the game in the middle of the club, did not care about what was going on around me. And then once we won, I started taking shots like there wasn't tomorrow, and everything was great after that. Angie had a good time. I had a good time. There was a fire dancer right next to us. They hire fire dancers at that place. Yeah.
Oh, that place is expensive.
Yeah. So I had a good time. I think it was a solid Halloween. Khalil, you went to a party?
Yeah.
Did you dress up as anything, or you just went?
The usual, man. The cowboy. Come on, now, you know. I waited to the last minute, so I just had to run it back. But it's fine. Next year, I should be good to go. But shout out to Kelsey for inviting me to her Halloween party. It was actually pretty dope.
Did you guys end up going? I saw it was like a mix-up in the chat, but you guys actually ended up going?
Yeah, we went.
Oh, okay. Fun. Because I remember there was one night, or there was one Halloween, I think it was like before COVID, where you guys were all supposed to be different parts of like the Avengers. Someone was supposed to be Killmonger, someone was supposed to be the Black Panther, but his costume didn't come in. Everyone was supposed to be a certain person. You were supposed to be Killmonger. You already have kind of the hair for it now.
I do now.
Yeah, now. Monday was supposed to be Black Panther. His costume.
He did end up.
Oh, he did.
He has a Black Panther costume.
Oh,
so
he just keeps that motherfucking thing on him.
Yeah, but speaking of the party, I swear I was a little nervous. We almost lost our flip cup championship, our undefeated streak. We were down 3-1.
3-1 in the final.
In the series.
What a comeback.
It was looking bleak, but it was a great comeback. I'm so proud of the team.
Who was on the team? You three and who else?
Just us three.
Oh, just you three?
It was yeah.
Who was anchor?
We had to figure some. I finished up being the anchor.
Okay.
We started out. I was the anchor, and I never really got a chance to
showcase your skills,
to do anything. We never made it to the fourth quarter.
It was that bad. Y'all got swept like that.
Yeah, it was actually my fault. I was fucking up. I was the one that was leading it off, and
then we brought it together. We made a change. I led off.
Had to get a new reliever in the bullpen, warming up. Had to get a lefty warming up in the pen.
We switched it up. Where I led off, and we never looked back. 3 straight wins.
Good for y'all.
So proud of us. I'm giving us a gold star for that.
Good for y'all.
There you go. But yeah, it was. After that, we tried to go to Fort Lauderdale.
Dicey's?
Tried. I've never seen a line outside. Imagine a line of Pilos or down in Racket, but for Dicey's, and then just imagine the streets just flooded with people.
It was insane. A block party.
I could imagine.
Nasty. Yeah, I got up out of there.
I can imagine. Wow.
I'm getting to that stage in my life.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. All right. Y'all ready to start? The people are here.
Whoa. Aren't we doing announcements?
Oh, yeah, announcements. I'm sorry. Yeah, very important announcements. Go ahead.
Do you want me to do it? Or?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as we've said it before earlier in our earlier episodes, first things first, if you don't, you should follow the Scorekeepers Pod on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you have social media. The Scorekeepers Pod, if you haven't already realized it by now, we're making some changes to this podcast. That's probably going to be the next name, most likely. So
why you keep saying it?
So just, we're making new changes. Finally, we did a test run. Shout out to Khalil for making everything happen. We made a test run. We are finally on YouTube, guys. Finally on YouTube. As of right now, the YouTube is still Tribe Talk Podcast, but we have our whole Keep It Short episode on there. You could see my reaction to the Bryce Harper home run. You could see Robert talking about how 4th and goals are the worst thing in football today. But yes, shout out to Khalil, like I said. We are finally on YouTube, something that has been coming into fruition, and we finally got it together. Live streaming, still a little iffy, but you can finally see our reactions to everything. Every Brandon hot take that you possibly can see. Every time Robert doesn't understand a joke, you will never see Khalil.
Wow, that's crazy.
Rob, you never can understand. Every joke goes over your head, bro. Every time you can never see Khalil. You won't see him again. Unless Khalil ends up deleting the episode. You can finally see Khalil in his Tua jersey. But yes, we're finally on YouTube, guys. Please make sure to check it out. If I'm guesstimating, I feel like it'll drop on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Yeah, because I want to do some more editing for the videos.
Okay.
Wednesday will probably be the latest. Yeah.
Okay. So whatever Khalil says, Khalil goes. So that's why we're rolling it. And is there a third thing, Rob?
No, just this should be the last episode of Trap Talk. So
Yeah,
we'll do I'll play taps at the end.
Yeah. Okay. But let's get into the recap. NFL recap. Here we go. We have Thursday night. We have the Ravens beating the Buccaneers 27-22. Lamar Jackson, 238 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady, 325 yards, 1 touchdown, with Mike Evans having 123 yards receiving. This game did not, the stat says 325 yards for Tom Brady, but it was not looking good for the Brady bunch over there. Yelling at his offensive line again, so much so that the offensive line that was injured had to get out of the way of Tom Brady's spewing of what he was saying. A lot of people saying that Giselle is a witch and put a curse on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's divorce just got finalized recently from Giselle.
That's something Tom Brady said, by the way.
What?
She's a witch. That's Tom Brady.
That's really what he said?
Yeah, apparently. I'll send y'all the article.
When
my sister's boyfriend was telling me about this 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I thought he was capping, but he sent me an article with quotes from an interview that Tom Brady did, where he basically explains how she's a witch and how she's helped him win throughout his career. Not even joking. I wish I was. I know how ridiculous I just sounded on this podcast, but
well,
perfect timing though.
I also just said Antonio Brown was trying to jump someone, so I don't think it's all that bad.
That's not ridiculous.
Oh, by the way, wait, we're on YouTube now. The views expressed here, not true. Don't represent us.
Oh yeah.
Don't.
I didn't want to say anything, but you were kind of already going. You kind of
allegedly
put Antonio business out there on the show.
Yeah, we don't have no proof of that. These are stories in a Marvel universe. We don't know.
Well, it'll be great content.
Go ahead.
What else was I saying? Oh yeah, Tom Brady got divorced. So he wants everyone to just relax, settle down with everything that's going on in his life.
He couldn't settle down.
But it's exactly. He saw a couple of episodes of Coco Melon and he couldn't fucking deal with it. But yeah, that's nothing really coming out of that Thursday night game. Besides Justin Tucker coming after Russell Wilson in the high knees and fucking in the airplane. What a beautiful send off for him. Speaking of Russell Wilson, led a comeback versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in London at the 9:30 kickoff. Denver beating the Jaguars 21-17. Russell Wilson, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nothing really coming out of there. Trevor Lawrence, 133 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Travis Etienne, though, 24 carries for 156 yards and 1 touchdown. James Robinson, who was the lead back, getting traded to the Jets after Breece Hall goes down with an injury, finally letting Travis Etienne come to his own. Last year, everyone talking about why Urban Meyer wasn't using him to his full, abilities. Now coming into fruition, having the game of his life on his first career start. So shout out to Travis Etienne. Nothing really coming out of this game. I want to talk about this game. Panthers, Falcons. Brandon, tell me you saw this game.
I saw the end.
Okay. That's the only part that matters.
Yeah.
Only part that matters. The Falcons, the battle for the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons, the 4-4 Atlanta Falcons beating the Carolina Panthers 37-34 in overtime. P.J. Walker, 317 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Deontay Foreman, 118 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. DJ Moore, 152 yards, 1 touchdown. Hail Mary of a touchdown, which I will get into. Marcus Mariota, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Kyle Pitts, 5 receptions, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. Did you get a win?
I didn't start him in any of my leagues, but I think I won both my leagues.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Well, tail end of this game. The rest of the game doesn't matter. P.J. Walker throws a Hail Mary to DJ Moore, with 12 seconds left. A beautiful dime of a fucking throw from XFL great P.J. Walker. All right? DJ Moore, what does he do? He celebrates. Takes off his helmet. You're not allowed to do that. Take off your helmet, you get a flag. Unsportsmanlike conduct. What do? Gets added on to the fucking field goal, the extra point. What happens to the extra point? He misses it because he added 15 yards to it. So now it's a tie game going into overtime. Falcons get the ball first. Marcus Mariota throws an interception to C.J. Henderson, which he took back to the Atlanta Falcon 25-yard line. They took the ball out of P.J. Walker's hands. Ran the ball 3 straight times. What does Eddie Pinheiro do?
Missed the field goal.
Shanked the fuck out of it. Shanked it completely. Missed, like I said, missed the field goal because, he was 15 yards back. I can't knock him for that. I mean, you should kick the field goal. You get paid to kick field goals. You should make the field goal. All right? And then Marcus Mariota marches down the field, and Younghoe Koo hits the game-winning field goal. And now the battle of the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons, who we were talking shit on earlier in the season. Arthur Smith, division leader Arthur Smith, is now leading the NFC South. Anything you want to say about that, Coach?
Yeah, I'm not standing down on what I said about Arthur Smith. He should still get fired, but that's just my personal opinion. That division sucks, so I don't care.
They're leading the division.
What does that mean?
It's the NFC beast all over again, just in the South.
No, I'm not even giving you. It doesn't even deserve a soundbite. So no.
This is Dak Prescott's first game back. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Chicago Bears 49-29. This ended up being a close game. I know it's a 20-point differential, but at one point in the third quarter, it ended up being 28-23, and then it just fell apart at the end. Dak Prescott, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tony Pollard starting for an injured Ezekiel Elliott, 14 carries, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That won a lot of fantasy days. Justin Fields, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert, who's a converted quarterback, leading the ground with 99 yards and 1 touchdown. The Chicago Bears lead the league in rushing by, a lot of yards. I didn't realize that at all.
It's not Baltimore this year?
Nope, not this year.
And quarterback.
I mean, yeah, the quarterback doesn't really throw.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. I'm just saying, too.
That, fun stats. That's it. The Miami Dolphins coming back and beating the Detroit Lions 31-27. This game was really good all the way up until the end. Tua having 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill not having any touchdowns. Jalen Waddle got all of them. But, again, just blowing up the fucking stat sheet with 12 receptions for 188 yards. Jared Goff having 321 yards in the air with 1 touchdown. And T.J. Hawkinson leading the Lions with 80 yards. Anything coming out of this? I know it's the Lions, but were you guys scared at all? Wasn't it 21-3 at one point?
It was 14-0 at one point.
I'm asking, wasn't it 21-3 at one point?
No, it was 14-0. It wasn't 21-3. It was 14-0.
21-7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
one was scared at all?
Nah, just think.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not pretty sure. I think there's a good chance Tyrese breaks the receiving yard record this year. He's already on pace for 2,000.
What is it?
2,046 yards is what he's on pace for. The record is Calvin Johnson, 1986, I believe was his total.
That's a record?
Did he come? He came out of the game with an injury, but did he end up starting the following week? I remember I was talking about that. I don't remember. Tyreek.
Yeah, he played.
He played the following week after that injury?
Yeah. What injury?
Yeah.
Oh, in the boot?
Yeah, remember he came off
the Jets
field
game.
with
Yeah, he played. He played next week. He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
Okay.
He's really, he might be the man.
And Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill broke the record for most receiving yards by a duo through the first 8 games. Previously held by Isaac Bruce and Torrey
the ageless Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, and also Demaryius Thomas, R.I.P., and who was his Emmanuel Sanders in 2014.
Part of Miami. All right.
That's it? You guys don't have anything else to say about that?
No, we got stuff. We got to go. Come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
I mean, it's the Lions.
Okay. The Vikings beat the Cardinals 34-26 because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out.
That's not fair. That is not fair.
That's what happened, though.
Why are y'all? Do y'all even know if he played the game? Y'all have no.
Played the game.
He played the game. It's in his contract.
What's he gonna do?
It's in his contract.
Playbook? Come on.
It's
now.
in his contract.
Leave that man alone. What he decides to do on his personal time is his business. Okay.
Yeah,
He needs to be reading some fucking lines. That's what he needs to be doing.
His coach needs to be reading lines, actually.
Thank you.
You don't think it's on him, too, to read some fucking film?
Well, when
it is.
Yeah,
when
but
Cliff
I see
Kingsbury's
who's
your
actually with the
coach.
games out there, all right? It ain't your boy Cliff, okay?
Let's be honest. Do you really want to be reading those plays? Like I said, I'll never let him live this down. You had Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, and you couldn't win more than 7 games. Not one time. Had him for 3 years. 3 years. Couldn't win more than 7 games.
Jimbo has a #1 recruiting class. He can't win more than 8. We have Kirk Cousins, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook having a good day, 20 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Justice Jefferson, 6 receptions, 98 yards. Kyler Murray, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It looks like it's kill-death ratio. DeAndre Hopkins, 12 receptions, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown coming off of PEDs.
Yo.
No, bro, I can't. I told we discussed. First of all, I've already.
Hey, did you see that catch he had
First
today?
of all, yes,
That
I did.
catch was
That was nasty.
First of all, I've already said that I'm tipsy. All right. Second of all, I can't with the PED fucking return train acting like you just came off an ACL. We had that conversation in private. I will not let that shit slide. You took drugs.
Whoa.
Keep it moving.
A lot of people take drugs.
But Clayton, you watch baseball.
Yeah, they also took drugs. Who's the best baseball player?
Took or take?
Who's the best player? Who's the best baseball player of all time?
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Okay.
He was a Hall of Famer before the drugs.
Before the big head.
Before the big head? All right. And then the Saints. Oh, yeah, the Raiders. Oh, God. The Saints beat the Raiders 24-0. Andy Dalton, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Red Rifle.
Alvin Kamara having 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, alongside with 96 reception yards, having
After
62.
they tried to trade him? That's crazy.
That was a false report, by the way. No, what? Well, at least to the Eagles, it was a false report. I don't know if it was necessarily him being on the trade block.
There was a report that the Bills
I thought the
called.
Bills.
I didn't see the Bills one. I saw the Eagles one. I don't know. That's the only one that I saw. The Bills probably should have called. That would. Jesus Christ, that would be scary.
Oh my!
Wow, he got lit the fuck up. But wow, that run.
Forget the run, the juke.
We're watching
Goodness.
Bills Packers right now. It's in the first quarter. But again,
You know what that's called, Clayton.
tomorrow. Sorry, what?
You know what that's called, right?
What?
There. Look at this.
Sneaky athletic?
Sneaky athletic.
Sneaky
Look at this.
athletic. Every fucking Madden
Look at this
commentator
right
says it
here.
every single time.
Oh yeah, sneaky athletic.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all. I mean, I guess we'll get to there when we talk about the rundown. But we'll keep it moving. Derek Carr, 101 yards, 1 interception. That's mostly it. Nothing coming out of the.
They didn't score, so we can just keep that.
Exactly. The Eagles beat the Steelers 35-13. Jalen Hurts having 285 yards, 4 touchdowns. A.J. Brown blowing up the Steelers defensive backs. 6 receptions, 156 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Small hands, Kenny Pickett, 191 yards, and 1 interception. I just want to say 2 things coming out of this game. I won't preach on it. 1, we only had 1 snap in the red zone the entire game, and we scored 35 points. And that 1 snap was a touchdown to Miles Sanders. Shout out to your fantasy team.
I appreciate it.
And that was a touchdown right off the bat. Second, Jordan Davis coming out of this game with a high ankle sprain. Whatever this brother needs to do, just get healthy. Don't even come back soon. Just stay as healthy as you need to be, and then we'll all be good together. I told you I bought his jersey.
Yes,
It was like bad karma.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was like bad karma. But yeah, we'll keep it moving to the 4 o'clock games. We have I'm sorry. One more 1 o'clock game. Patriots beat the Jets 22.
You could skip that.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, there was nothing happening in that game.
Out of that
Patriots beat the Jets.
game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. You can skip
Great
that. No
for the
disrespect to them.
Dolphins.
No,
Great
everybody's
for
a
the
Jets fan,
Dolphins,
but
but-
you can skip that. Yeah,
Zach Wilson had 355 yards.
And 3 interceptions. Keep him.
yeah, keep pleasing. Come on.
You know who's playing better than him this year? Joe Flacco. Let's go. Keep it moving.
Don't believe me, just watch.
The Titans beat the Texans 17-10. Malik Willis not having a great day. 55 yards passing with 1 interception. But Derrick Henry having 32 carries for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Do not draft him, Robert. Davis Mills having 152 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Brandon Cooks coming back off injury, 4 receptions, 73 yards, getting back into the swing of things. The Commanders beating the Colts 17-16 with 22 seconds left on a Taylor Heineke throw over to Terry McLaurin, set them up on the 1 yard line, and then Taylor Heineke fucking punched it in. having 279 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, having another one on the ground, like I just said. Terry McLaurin having 6 receptions for 113 yards. Sam Ehlinger, he was the one that proclaimed that Texas was going to be back in the Sugar Bowl of 2019. He was the one.
He wasn't the one today.
He proclaimed it. 201 yards.
So when Frank Wright getting fired? Come on.
I'm going to let that simmer.
When is he getting fired?
Look.
He needs to get fired.
I don't think he next.
What? Who's next?
He's been the coach there for like 5 years.
And they're not good.
I don't know,
They keep regressing.
Granted, it's not really his fault because.
Oh my God, he picks the quarterback every year against Super Jimmy. Ain't his fault. Come on.
Josh McDaniels looks rough.
But at least it's his first year.
It's his first year.
I know.
He didn't, and that's not. He definitely did not pick those players.
We've seen it in the past.
That's John Gruden and Mike Mayock.
Every year we talk about this. Every year we talk about Josh McDaniels being the hottest hire in football, and then all of a sudden he just turns it not.
I mean, the Patriots could use him. You see what Matt Patricia's running out there? Come on, now. Get out of here.
Jesus.
Get on with the game.
San Francisco beat the Rams.
That's what I wanted to talk about. I have been slandered on this show for at least a good year and a half.
He had one good game.
I don't care.
He had one good game.
I'm taking my moment. You can't take it away from me. Do not overshadow my moment. Thank you very much. Okay. First player since 2005 to have a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. CMC.
Who was the one in 2005? Because that has Ronnie Brown's stat line written all over it.
It wasn't Ronnie Brown. It was actually somebody. I got to look at it. Might have been Cordell Stewart, but go ahead.
Okay.
I think it was Cordell Stewart. I think that's my guess, but I think it was Cordell Stewart.
Anyways, Christian McCaffrey, 18 carries, 94 yards, a touchdown, receiving touchdown, and a passing touchdown to Brandon Ayuk, like I said, or like he said, 6 receptions, 81 yards for Brandon Ayuk. Porn star Jimmy having 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Stafford having 187 yards, 1 touchdown, and Cooper Kupp having 79 yards and another touchdown. The Seahawks, the pride of Miramar. Khalil, tell them. They did it. They beat the Giants. Finally.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
I already know what time it is. I already told you that was going to happen. So,
The Seahawks beating the Giants 27-13. Geno Smith, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, the third, 51 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Lockett, 63 yards and 1 touchdown. Saquon, 20 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. Daniel Jones, 176 yards. Who was the player?
I knew this player, and I can't believe I forgot it. It was LaDainian Tomlinson. I remember I watched that game. He did it in 2005.
All right. That's believable.
LT.
That's believable. And like I said, we are currently watching the Bills versus the Packers. And I don't know if they scored that. Brandon, did they? I don't know.
It's 7-0.
It's 7-0? Okay, the Bills are winning right now. But let's keep it moving. Trade deadline this Tuesday. A lot of teams in the NFL that need to get better, folks. A lot of teams. All right? We'll start off with a few right here. The Bucs. Do you guys see anyone from the Bucs getting traded out, traded in? How are we feeling about that? Because Lord knows they need some fucking talent. Go.
Apparently, the entire offensive line needs to be traded if you ask Tom Brady. So
They need some offensive line help. They definitely do. They're standing
line.
in the need. It's pretty sad.
Maybe.
Let's move on to the Dolphins. Dolphins are sitting pretty at 4-3. Obviously, we have defensive back needs. Well, it's just y'all are injured. That's mostly the thing on the defensive.
Need one anyway.
Oh, you still need one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So who are
Byron
we
Jones
feeling?
out here
What are we
selling me.
thinking right now?
I like William Jackson,
Okay.
but I've heard Greedy Williams, but I would rather have William Jackson. That's just my personal opinion.
I
Okay.
want Greedy Williams.
I was going to say I'd rather have Greedy Williams.
Show
But,
business.
either way, it's not like,
I just need somebody. I can't be out there with Justin Bethel and Dolphins legend Noah Igbenogany.
Dolphins legend.
I guess he
Dang,
is now.
he just slings
He
that
got
shit
him a
around.
game. He got him a game.
He slings that thing around. Kind of like Xavier Howard. We'll keep it moving.
That was a good
the
one.
Ravens.
That was a good one. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Whenever Khalil does a face palm, I know it was a good joke.
it was good, right? That's how you know.
The Baltimore Ravens. Lamar needs some help all over the place. They're always injury prone. We seeing anything for the Ravens? What do they need?
I think they should probably try and see if they can get Jerry Jeudy.
Oh,
say they need a receiver.
you think
A
so?
real number one
I
receiver.
think they need another tight end, actually.
Mark
Look,
Andrews,
they play a 2 tight end set.
Well, actually, Mark Andrews is injured.
That's what.
Well, then yeah, they definitely need to sign him. Yeah,
okay.
but even if he comes back, if they had a 2 tight end set, they would really be nasty.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I feel like they need a number one. I don't think.
Actually, they need secondary help too. They have the worst secondary.
They're in the league. Yeah.
What you mean, Marcus Peters, bro?
I've seen him, bro. He ain't shit.
I don't think he's really. I mean, I feel like it's Marlon Humphrey over there.
Marlon Humphrey's a real problem.
Is he?
Yeah,
I mean, in his defense, he's battling injury this year.
He doesn't know how this happened.
He doesn't know how this happened.
Leave him alone, man.
What does Brandon say? If you're on the field, you fucking play. It's like the Baker Mayfield syndrome. You're on the fucking field. If you're battling an injury, then sit the fuck out. Get healthy.
But you're playing for pride.
You ain't playing for shit.
Okay.
If you're getting blown up by every wide receiver that comes your way, how are you contributing to the team? You're not.
He's a pretty good shit talker, though.
That is true. That is true.
All right, so we're good with that. No more NFL talk. Everyone's good. Everyone's happy.
We'll do mid-season awards next week. That's a teaser.
As a teaser? Okay.
It's a tease.
Moving on to college football. We have Ohio State beating Penn State 44-31. That ended up being a closer game than it should have been. But the defensive end or defensive tackle, you saw this game, right?
From Ohio State, JT, something.
2 interceptions, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, a sack, and tipped the first interception of the game as well. This man just had an all-around day. I don't even know who he is. His name's not coming up on my feed.
JT, I don't know how to pronounce. He has like some Polynesian last name.
Yeah, it's an Hawaiian last name.
He was the number 1 player in the country 2 years ago, I believe.
Wow. Well, he had the game for an ages. Tiomalu. Shout out to him. TCU, the Horny Frogs. The Hypno-Toads.
Oh, my gosh.
The Hypno-Toads.
The Hypno-Toads beating West Virginia 41-31. This one also a close game. This game ended up being 34-31 in the fourth quarter.
They went for a go-ahead touchdown on 4th and 1 or something
20 seconds left.
Yeah.
20 seconds left. 20 seconds left. Yeah, so TCU, they might win the Big 12, folks. They might win the Big 12. Who had Kansas State? Who had him?
I had Kansas State.
Who had Kansas State?
I believe I had Kansas State.
Who had Kansas State? Yeah. Kansas State just whipping ass on the number 9 team in the nation, Oklahoma State, 48-0. The biggest blowout against a top 10 team of all time. It's tied the record, I believe.
I think so.
I think it tied the record for the biggest blowout all time against a top 10 team. Bad. Not good, coach. Not good. UCF upset against number 20 ranked Cincinnati 25-21. Another upset, I guess you could say. Missouri beat 25th ranked Carolina 23-10. Tennessee, I'm going to get there. Michigan beat Michigan State 29-7. You guys have all seen this video, correct?
Jaden McBurrow's St. Thomas Aquinas product. He got the beats.
You guys have seen this video?
That shit was wild.
I
didn't like that.
I didn't like that shit either, honestly. Yeah. You know how Michigan is, though. They have that one tunnel. Yeah, everyone goes down that one tunnel, and we see it with Ohio State and Michigan every year.
That's not the first time it's happened to them this season, right?
Oh, really?
Well, like not necessarily somebody get jumped, but at halftime of the Penn State game, there was also a kerfuffle. I believe last year before the Ohio State game, there was a kerfuffle at halftime as well in that tunnel.
Really?
My first question was, I don't know how the hell he wound up in that tunnel by himself. I don't know what happened there.
He was there was the video. He was skipping into the locker room, talking that talk. And apparently, I guess the Michigan State players did not take too kindly to it.
Yeah, you probably should have just kept your head down and just keep it busting.
Gotta know your personnel.
He got stomped out by like 7 guys.
I know, it was bad. I wasn't.
Apparently, there was 2 Michigan players that were involved. One was in the background, but it was only like kind of like But then he was the one that got stomped the fuck out.
He was the
one bro, you get stomped out. You get stomped out with shoes. Imagine getting stomped out with cleats. God, metal spikes. Nah, I'm good, fam. We have Ole Miss beating Texas A&M 31-28. After the game Lane Kiffin called Jimbo the Joker.
A Joker costume. Yo, what was even funnier, did you see in the press conference after the game, they were interviewing Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Kiffin said he didn't want to get up there first. He wanted to wait until Jimbo finished speaking to see if Jimbo was gonna say some shit about him or Nick Saban.
Oh God, man, Jimbo, what can you say that already hasn't been said by me? You know,
he's not getting fired. I just want to say, no matter what, he's not getting fired.
Look,
Jimbo?
$86 million.
Is Jimbo part of that group chat? Remember when Lane Train came out and said that Kirby, Lane, and a few other coaches are in a group chat and they're called Saban's Kids or something? Like they named the group chat Saban's Kids or something like that. Do you remember that? Do you know if Jimbo's a part of that chat?
I feel like he was at one point.
And then they kicked him out the chat after the NIL deals?
Yeah. Yeah, they were out here, it was all going good, and they're all kind of frustrated with him probably, but they're just kind of like, you know what, we're all Saban's kids here, he's part of the group, and then they just had enough, and they got rid of him.
Not even. They probably just started a new group chat with him, and then he was just like, Nobody said they haven't heard from nobody in a while. It's interesting.
I can see
it's
that
almost
too.
bowl week. No one's wishing me good luck. You know why that's funny? Because he won't make a bowl. Georgia, Tennessee. Khalil, just let it go. Just let it go.
They're 3-5.
All right.
I don't see 3 more wins on their schedule. We went over this on the Thursday show.
All right. So as you guys know, College Game Day is going to Athens, Georgia for the Tennessee-Georgia matchup. Number 1 versus number 3 in the nation.
Number 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's absolutely right. Number 1 versus number 2 in the nation. I cannot recall the last time that has happened on College Game Day or in the regular season in general. But number 1 versus number 2, Rob put it in the rundown to talk about it because I am here and I'm usually not here on Thursdays. You just hear me yell like an old angry man.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Bubba Lightyear.
That's
yes.
Right, from Athens. Georgia super fan.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Hendon Hooker, Heisman candidate, without a shadow of a doubt.
Heisman favorite.
Heisman favorite. Yes. And if he walks into Georgia, win or lose, even if he has a fantastic stat line, he is going to win the Heisman this year. If he does beat Georgia, he will be a Heisman favorite. I expressed
If he beats Georgia, I think he locks it up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did I say that? No, I said favorite.
Heisman favorite.
Yeah, no,
he wins the award.
Yeah, he wins the award. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. I said it when Tennessee beat Alabama. I said it 3 words. I said I'm fucking scared. To this day, I'm fucking scared. Still. And we play that game is being played in Athens. It's a 3:30 kickoff, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think the line is 10.
Georgia by 10?
Georgia by 10. 9.5, maybe somewhere around that area. All I'm going to say is this, all right? That kid that blew up in the Alabama game, I forgot his name, the wide receiver. What's his name, Brendan? Jalen Hyatt. He blew up against Kentucky, too. Kentucky just left this man wide the fuck open the entire game.
That shit was nasty.
If Jalen Hyatt blows up like he did against Alabama and Kentucky, it's a fucking wrap.
I think he will, by the way. Your secondary's not very good.
That's all.
From what I've seen.
That's all that's going to happen. Georgia, may I remind you, yes, they did beat they did beat Florida 42-20. They didn't cover the spread, but it was 22.5 when the game ended, the spread, and it was 22 points. I'm just scared. I don't really know what else to say about this. Stetson Bennett didn't look great against Florida. I'm not going to be like, oh, let's bench Stetson Bennett or whatever. I'm not going to go major on all of that stuff. But I don't know what it is. It's giving me big 2018 Jake Fromm vibes. Jake Fromm, if you guys don't remember, 2017, we went to the national title. He played lights the fuck out the entire season, was mostly a game manager. And then 2018 came along, and all those guys left. Nick Chubb left. We had Sony Michel leave. We had our tight end leave. We had a lot of offensive linemen leave. And granted, the people that, when we broke the record for most, picks in a draft, it was mostly the defense. 15 guys, and we're still the number 1 team in the nation according to the AP. I don't think so. But we obviously don't look this. I don't. In terms of record and stuff like that, Tennessee has better ranked wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm not. Yeah. But we don't look the same. We don't look gelled as a unit. Talking about Eric Gilbert, one of the star transfers, he caught 1 touchdown this entire season this year. You know what I mean?
Like 50 tight ends.
We have 2 tight ends. He can be out there. Our wide receivers are not good. And also, Khalil told Brandon this.
It's
Wait,
not
no,
good.
let me break the news for him.
It's not good, Khalil.
Let me break the news for him.
Tennessee big this week.
Let me break the news to him. Dan Jackson tore a ligament in his foot. He's out for the year. Out for the year.
Does it really matter, guys?
Yeah, because I'm looking at Keely Ringo out there every time I see him.
Hey! He sealed the deal. Watch your mouth on him. Watch it.
That was last year.
Watch it.
Every time I see him,
watch it.
He's looking at the name on the back of the jersey.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. He sealed the deal. I'm not coming after Keely, not yet. Not yet.
All right. You will.
All right, I will.
After, he can tell you exactly.
All I say is this. I mean, again, I feel better about the game because we went into Tennessee last year and we won. We won kind of handily. It was kind of close getting into the halftime. But it's roughly the same team. But obviously, these guys are buying into Coach Heupel. They're buying into his product. They're seeing what he's doing. That offense was the same offense that was running in Missouri that gave Alabama problems on a couple of occasions. Alabama never lost those games, but they did give them problems. So I can understand why it is to be scared, but that's the only reason why I'm not scared is because I saw them go into Tennessee, and they kind of beat them pretty decently. Different team, though, but that's all I can say about that. I know you wanted to give me a whole segment, but I was waiting till Thursday, and I really wasn't prepared. So, I'm being honest with you. I was going to wait till Thursday, and I was going to give you guys a whole thing, but now it's too late.
That's fine.
Still do it. Bubba Lightyear can make an appearance.
But anything you guys want to say based off that? Anything for the time being?
I won't lie to you. I think usually I get on here and you talk about your shaking in your boots. And I come here and hit you with your first world problems. Bullshit. But I think you have every right to be scared. I think Tennessee's a better team than you.
Not even that. This is the playoff. This is a playoff game. Whoever wins this game is an automatic lock for the playoff. Whoever loses this game will be out of the playoff probably handily.
I don't think so.
Listen.
You're in the SEC, bro. As long as the loser wins.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
If we lose to Tennessee, we don't go to the SEC championship. Tennessee doesn't have a team on the rest of their schedule that's going to mean anything to them. They play bullshit-ass team for the rest of the season. Tennessee, if they beat Georgia, will be undefeated going into the SEC championship. Based off the Alabama Ole Miss game, that's who decides on who's going to that SEC championship. And if Alabama, loses or wins or whatever, they're not going to give it to fucking it might come down to who lost worse to Tennessee. You get what I'm saying?
Fair.
That's probably what's going to come down to. But if TCU keeps going undefeated and they win the Big 12, you have the Big 10, you have Clemson who's still undefeated, you have the SEC, and you have the Big 12. A SEC team, there will not be 2 SEC teams if the Big 12 stays undefeated this season. If TCU rides it out, there's absolutely no way, no shot in hell that they will put a one-loss SEC team over an undefeated Big 12 championship team.
I think they would if that one-loss SEC team is Tennessee.
I don't think so, bro.
I
don't think so.
Tennessee has been the best team in college football for pretty much the entire season. They
did have a couple close games, though, in the beginning of the season.
They did.
I don't want to put that away.
They did.
They almost lost to Pitt.
They did. That is true.
I just want to let that be known. I mean, obviously, they came out with a dub, but...
They did, but like I said, Tennessee on both sides of the ball are phenomenal.
I wouldn't say both. Their offense is...
Their offense is miles ahead of their defense.
Yes, I'd rather say that.
They have I believe they still have the number 1 offense in the country, and I believe they have like a top 30-ish defense.
Just to give you a heads up. I'm sorry to cut you off right now.
No, you're fine.
The second game of the season, 34-27 against Pitt. That game was in overtime. Absolutely correct. Then they played Akron. The following game, they played Florida, 38-33. That game was in Tennessee. And then they beat the brakes off fucking LSU, and then we had the fucking game of the decade versus Alabama.
Yeah,
all close games,
I'm
but
just,
I'm not. I'm just letting you know why I'm scared, but I don't want to get too scared.
Look, I'm with you. I would hope you can pull it off. But look, I haven't felt like your secondary is very dominant. It's just not that you're bad. They're not horrendous or anything like that. It's just they give up they give up some yardage. You know, they'll give up chunk plays and they'll have breakdowns and coverage busts, and quite frankly, against this offense, it only takes one time. So I know this could easily be a game where you possess. I could see you running 20, 25, 30 more plays than Tennessee just because they're going on like 3-play drives, hitting big play after big play on defense.
I will say this: if we do end up going into a shootout with Tennessee, I don't feel like we can match them up in shootout wise. But if we do, I want to unload the clip. Like, unload the entire playbook. I'm not exaggerating when I say this, that I believe that Georgia will not make the playoff if they lose this game.
Now that you ran through the scenarios, I do agree with you. Do need this game. I think Tennessee can make the playoff without it.
No, they'll need the game too.
Nope.
I think they'll need the game too.
I don't think so.
I really think they'll need it.
They would have beaten Alabama, LSU. They would have beaten
LSU's won't be ranked by the end of the season.
LSU is coming. I think they're ranked now.
They won't be ranked by the end of the season.
Nevertheless, LSU, Alabama.
Even then you're gonna have one loss Tennessee over undefeated Big 12 champion to TCU.
You're assuming that continues. TCU, you're forgetting, they stomped out Oklahoma State, but prior to that, they looked a little bit shaky. They had to come back from double digits in both of those weeks.
Shows perseverance.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm not saying that, if they
TCU,
keep playing, they don't belong in the playoff, but you're telling me I don't even know what the Big 12 looks like. Who are they in line to play in the
Kansas State, who just dropped 48
and stomped out Oklahoma
State.
Yeah. So
TCU does
actually, it wasn't it 2 weeks ago that Kansas State was beating the brakes off TCU, and TCU came back in the second half and beat them.
Yeah.
So if they play Kansas State again,
TCU doesn't have a ranked opponent for the rest of the season. Texas Tech, Texas, Baylor, Iowa State. That has undefeated written all over it.
I think either of those teams can get them.
The Hypno-Toad.
Any three of those teams can catch them slipping. I would pick TCU to win all those games, but absolutely any of those teams could catch them slipping. It's just the Big 12.
Anything else you guys want to say off that, Khalil? Rob, I know we talked a lot about college football, but
I'm sure, however the game is, I think there's a good chance I'll be sitting next year around you during that next week if you're watching it out. So
okay,
I'm sure you'll give me a great performance just like last year. Was that even last year or was that this year? The SEC championship game.
That
was last year. Yeah, I'm sure.
Technically.
Let's just not get mad at. Can you make a promise?
I can't make that promise.
Yes, you should.
I can't make that
As
promise.
a grown man, you should.
I don't give a fuck.
Let's not get mad. Let's not get mad at old white ladies.
Fuck that bitch.
All right.
Khalil, you can't clap after every drive, after every play.
You clap after every play.
2 yards, because I was competing with her. And then who ended up winning at the end?
All right. Knock it off. Stop it. No,
you can't clap after a 2-yard screen.
Okay.
She's happy for her team.
Just like you are. Oh, my God. Don't be that person.
Khalil?
I'm usually the Stinson Bennett believer. And I don't even think he's necessarily going to be the reason why they lose.
To be honest,
I just don't think y'all got the chops right now.
I don't know if you saw this game last week. I mean, I know you were moving and stuff. Stinson Bennett does not look good. He does not. That's why I said it gave me big 2018 Jake Fromm vibes. Mm-hmm. He was riding off the coattails of a lot of great talent, and I'm not necessarily saying that Stetson Bennett can't get it done. I just saw him win a national fucking title. I'm not about to, bench him. But I will say he does not look like the same Stetson Bennett that won me the national title. That just won offensive MVP in the Orange Bowl and offensive MVP in the national title. He does not look the same, man. So, we'll see how it goes. Basketball! Woo! Coach Carousel. Take it away, Rob.
Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner.
Much. All right. Yeah.
Sorry,
all right.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So, we did Panic Meter on.
Forgives you.
That was a good one. On Thursday episode, we did the Panic Meter, right? Mm-hmm. So, obviously, some of these teams, just based off of restrictions, can't necessarily fix their teams with any transactional moves, probably at least until December 15th. So that's over a month from now. So some of these teams that we're seeing struggling so far, they're basically stuck with their team. So we're going to ask Brandon, who is a former coach, or you used to like to say you're
Yes, I'm in the analysis game now. Yes.
Okay, so you're analysis.
I'm Stan Van Gundy.
You're Ron Rothstein.
Yeah.
Stop right there. All right, there you go. We're gonna ask him. I'm gonna give him teams, give him some name of some teams, and he's gonna tell me as a coach what he would do strategically to get these teams back on track. Now, the first team I'm gonna start with, very close to home, the Miami Heat. What would you do with the Heat, Brandon? How would you fix that if you can't make any moves? You gotta just work with what Spoelstra got.
Well, I would say on the front end, the easiest way to fix this roster is they need to make a trade. But obviously,
go ahead, say the word. Say the word.
As you've given me the parameters, I can't do that.
There you go.
What I would personally do to fix Miami. When I watch them, I feel like they just don't have energy. Get that out my face. They don't have energy. Sometimes they play particularly, you saw it in the Kings game, their veterans, Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, they kind of just take their time to grow into the game. And, you can do that when you're the number one team in the East, like they were last year. But that's not the case this year. So I think on defense in particular, it's just not very good. Dwayne Dedmon, it was good while it lasted. The mechanic gave me some fun times. Thought you might have been better than Wilt Chamberlain at one time. But,
the shop is closed.
Yes.
Okay.
Times are tough. The economy is hitting really hard right now. I think it's time to pack up the shop. And we're just going to have to I'll come back to you on December 15th when I can make roster moves. And now that's tough. It sounds a little crazy because they're getting just annihilated on the glass. But defense, or really schematically to fix that, the easiest thing, you're at 7. It's been like a month, bro. You got an ankle injury. What are we doing? Get on the court.
When I see Udonis Haslam getting primetime minutes,
we need to get you back. But on defense, I would play a lot more zone, to be honest with you. And then not that they can't play the man, because they can, but the switching everything they kind of like to do a lot, they can't do that. They just can't. They probably need to play a little bit more drop like Milwaukee, or you can switch some things but not everything, because teams are they're putting Bam in the pick and rolls, the Heat switch, and they're doing that not to attack Bam but to get a big on a wing, and then they're just getting abused after that. So I would do a lot more zone, and I would play Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain needs to play, which isn't going to happen because they just sent him down to Sioux Falls to go get some minutes. But, yeah, Jamal Cain's got to play. 6'7", just athleticism for days. I think he could really add a big spark to this team. I would even consider – I know Caleb Martin has played well. He hasn't really been the problem. But I would maybe even consider starting Jamal Cain for Caleb Martin. just to give him a little bit more size. Jamal Cain can shoot it, can guard well. I think it'll help them defensively as well, especially if they're not willing to really give up the whole switching everything thing. I think Jamal Cain would be a better help than Caleb Martin for that scheme. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
Would you say that they need a 4?
Sir,
I think they need a big. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 4. Because, like I said,
that's what you told me yesterday.
If they have, they're just really getting, Caleb Martin hasn't been the problem. They can get away with playing Caleb Martin at the 4. The reason they're not playing Jamal Cain is because I assume they're probably going to try and sign him to the active roster in that last spot that they have. And they don't want to go over the luxury tax. So there's a certain day, I don't know what it is, but there's a certain day where they can do that and stay under the luxury tax. So that's probably what they're waiting for. I would guess that day is farther than the 50 games that Jamal Cain is allowed to play. So, but I would imagine probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe we might see a little bit more Jamal Cain.
All right. I like the breakdown. All right. We got some more teams. We're going to run through them real quick. The next team. This team definitely people would love to know. The Brooklyn Nets.
I'll tell you the problem.
Okay. All right.
Just tag me when you're ready.
Okay. All right. Didn't know you were a coach, too. Okay.
The Nets, they're a team. They're struggling. Kyrie and Durant are playing well. That's not the problem. However, if I were them, and I don't know if they will do it. I don't think they will, at least not right away. But they can't do it at the moment because Seth Curry is still out injured. But I would bring Ben Simmons off the bench. Play Kevin Durant at the 4. And Seth Curry starts.
So that sounds like a quick fix. That would solve a lot of problems for them. Next team.
Oh, can I ask you? I'm sorry, Brendan. I wanted to ask you that tweet that I sent in the group chat.
Which one?
The one about Kyrie being compared to a QN and Monte Ellis. Did you read that?
No, I did not. What?
So this guy tweeted. Hold on, give me a second. Let me find it real quick. This guy, I feel like you follow him, Brandon, because a lot of people follow him. This guy, Kyrie appoints himself a voice of the voiceless and takes offense and deflects and runs whenever asked to elaborate on his commentary. Dude is a joke, a clown, and hasn't done a damn thing noteworthy on the court since 2016. Just a QAnon Monte Ellis at this point.
I think that tweet is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think we should even give it time.
Okay. All right.
That's somebody who doesn't watch basketball.
Okay.
All right. Next team. Staying on the East Coast. Going to Philly now. Leaving Brooklyn, going to Philly. How you fix the 76ers, Coach?
Now, this one, you're going to have to stay with me a little bit.
Oh, this is about to get some bullshit. Go ahead.
It's not going to be bullshit. But when you watch the Sixers, I don't know if you noticed it. Have you watched a lot of Sixers games?
No, I've watched maybe 2 of their games this year.
I've actually watched, I think, like 4, because they've had a lot of them on national television so far, and I refuse to watch Thursday Night Football.
That's why.
The Sixers, they cater their offense to James Harden.
Yes.
It's kind of, it looks a lot like the Rockets, like with Dwight Howard.
They didn't go well.
However, and they absolutely, I think, need to change their offense completely, and it needs to be Joel Embiid centric. And those of you listening to the podcast, I don't know how much of you actually watch basketball in a deep manner, but you might, even if you don't, you might pull up the stats and you'll see. But Joel Embiid, he's getting like 40 every other night when he plays, and I know they are, but they're not winning games. Their offense, a lot of Joel Embiid is working. They have him standing out on like the free throw line and out on the perimeter. And while Joel Embiid can absolutely do those things, and I think his versatility offensively, being able to play out on the high post and on the wing should be a part of your offense, I think it should be sprinkled. I don't think that should be the offense. And that's basically, in order to get the most out of James Harden, they need to pull Joel Embiid away from the basket because James Harden doesn't do anything that isn't at the rim or behind the three-point line. And they need to get away from that. It needs to be heavy Joel Embiid, give him the ball on the post, and work it inside out from there. And look, quite frankly, I think that'll require a lot of James Harden probably just kind of standing around, because that's really what he does when he doesn't have the basketball in his hands. But they need to be able to work it that way and just play inside out, a lot like the Magic in 2008 with Dwight Howard. And I think James Harden should be like a secondary figure. And I think maybe even I would probably even stagger him and Embiid a lot more, just so I can have James Harden out there with the second unit. And your second unit offense can be a lot of, James Harden with the Rockets kind of style. But I'm going to give Philly and their fans a warning. I know you're not playing well. Don't you dare fire Doc Rivers and replace him with Mike D'Antoni. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sure that's what they're talking about doing over there, Clayton, right?
I told you guys. I heard Sam Cassell.
I don't know.
Like I said, it feeds in because everyone's thinking about, like, obviously, I mean, I don't mean to bring baseball up, but they're talking about like Joe Girardi and Rob Thompson, and they're like at this point, fire Doc Rivers and just let Sam Cassell coach a fucking team. It can't be fucking any worse.
I believe that Doc Rivers should have been fired at the end of last season.
But I told you guys he was going to be a dark horse.
I don't think he's the right coach for this team. But I don't, honestly, this is one of those things. I think they needed to get rid of James Harden. He's a good player, and it's not that he's not. You got to hear me out. James Harden, he's a great player. He's still good, and you could absolutely still run your offense through him. But it has to be Joel Embiid's show. And James Harden is not, for whatever reason, the coach is running his offense to accommodate James Harden and to best suit James Harden. James Harden is arguably the third best player on that team. Right now.
That's wild. I don't know if I'm doing that. I'm not going there yet. I'm not doing that.
I wonder who said that.
Pretty well.
Yo, Wildin', I'm not doing that.
I wonder who said that. Wonder who said that.
James Harden is a Hall of Famer. James Harden is one of the best to ever play this game. I am not a fan of his game, but I will not take that from him. But right now, Tyrese Maxey has been a better player. And I think in many ways, the Philadelphia 76ers, if they want to get far, make a deep run this year, they need to allow Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey to carry them, and James Harden just kind of get in there in his intermediate spots, lead the bench unit in particular, and just kind of pick his spots, and then in those big games, maybe it's 10, 15 games a year, you give me that vintage James Harden 30. It's crazy I'm saying vintage James Harden, but we just don't see it anymore. I'm not lying.
Oh, you don't say.
Vintage, give us that 35 point, 15 assists, 10 rebound, triple double games. Just give me those kinds of games here and there to help the team win, because I think it would be best for James Harden if he could do that. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a James Harden thing. I don't know if he's just like, no, it's my show here, or I wouldn't. To be honest, I wouldn't really go that route, even though he would absolutely be the type of guy to probably do it. I think it's more the fact that he doesn't do anything if he's not the centerpiece of the offense. So as a coach, and that's what I'm telling you, I think they should have let him go or traded him, because as a coach, there's nothing I can do with James Harden. I can change the scheme. I can run. You can run a bunch of better schemes that fit Philly and help them on both ends of the ball. But if James Harden is not the centerpiece, if he's not the guy, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't move off the ball. He doesn't set screens. He doesn't even like stand in the corner like ready to shoot. He stands 40 feet from the basket on the wing.
What does that remind you of, Khalil? He tricked y'all, man. He just be running around doing nothing.
And look, he's not the only one because, this will be a nice transition to the next team. Luka Doncic does the same crap.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't do nothing. But the difference between Luka and James Harden, Luka's like 24. Actually, he's probably younger than that. Was he like 22?
22,
and also,
23.
there's no question that Luka is the best player on his team. If you ask me,
and Luka is that guy.
What team do you know where they run the offense through the dude who isn't the best player on the team? That's not how that works. That's not how that works. And then when you're talking about like position wise, Embiid is more dominant at his position than James Harden is, but they're still running the offense to cater James Harden. That just doesn't.
I would do you one better. If I'm Joel Embiid and they continue through the rest of the year running this offense through James Harden, at the end of the season, I demand a trade.
Where is he at with his contract?
I believe he just signed an extension last year.
Oh, you're saying Embiid or Harden should demand a trade?
If I'm Joel Embiid, I demand a trade.
Oh, I would too.
I want out.
I would too.
Because Joel Embiid has been there his entire career.
He's been through way too many sagas of the nonsense.
He has been the best player on that team for at least when he's healthy and like playing. He has been the best player on that team through his entire stint in Philadelphia, and not one time has the coach ran an offense catered to him. Not one time have they built the team catered to him. When it was him and Ben Simmons, they were building that around Ben Simmons. They were trying to cater to Ben Simmons' personnel, offensive schemes to cater to Ben Simmons and make him comfortable to make up for his deficiencies and what he can't do. And the problem with Ben Simmons is, as I heard this on the Bomani Jones podcast, and it's absolutely true. I didn't actually really think about it this way. You say about Ben Simmons, he's a great player, he could pass, all those things are, true. And they talk about, well, no, what you need to do with Ben Simmons is you need to get a team and put 4 shooters around him. Do you know how hard that is to do? I want you to think about it. What most teams don't put out 3. Like having a lineup with 3 shooters is rare and difficult. If you even think about like the best of the Warriors.
I said the Warriors got 2 in a possible.
At the best of the Warriors, that 73-win Warriors team, they had 2. They had 2 shooters.
And then maybe Iguodala give you a corner 3 every once in a while.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, Harrison Barnes is more of like he can shoot, but he's not a shooter.
Yeah.
And then you look at with Durant, they obviously had 3. But, that's really the best it kind of gets. It's hard to find 4 guys that can shoot at a well enough clip to work with the theory of Ben Simmons. So I don't know. I really think James Harden, if they can't get him to just do something, to be fair to James Harden, he's been in the league 13 years or something like that. It's hard to just change like that, but that's what needs to happen. You can't be the guy. You're not the guy anymore. You're not that guy, pal.
I agree. I think Embiid should request a trade because he's been through a lot of bullshit on that team. And like you're saying, him being the best player but still having to cater to other people's needs is trash. Now, I do want him to leave, but I kind of want him to come to the Heat because if he goes anywhere else, that's scary. An actual team organization actually knows how to use him properly could be a problem potentially.
That makes sense. Okay, so we were gonna do the Mavs, but for the sake of time, it's do you have one quick thing you can say about the Mavs? And
yeah,
go ahead.
I'd just bring Christian Wood and start him instead of I believe they start Willie Cauley-Stein or Willie Trill.
Wait, that's real?
They still start him? Whoa.
Yeah, they bring Christian Wood off the bench.
I knew Christian Wood came off the bench, but I figured they had somebody better.
No, I think it's Willie Trill they start.
Made that trade To bench him?
No, they just bring him off the bench.
Get some scoring points.
Well, that's what I meant, to not start him.
Their bench is fairly weak, but like there's not much I would really do with the Mavs just because that team is catered to do one thing and is built to do one thing, and that's cater to Luka. And while that's good and all, it kind of limits them. That's because Luka is leading the league in first quarter points. I think he's at 17 a game this year. Led the league in first quarter points last year too. But what's been happening, or at least in the couple Mavericks games I've watched, and even in the playoffs, you saw it. He wears down. He's not as good in the second quarter, and he's even worse in the third. And he's had some good fourth quarters in some of these runs, but it's hard. It becomes very difficult. He takes difficult shots, and he's often inefficient.
Speaking of Bleacher Report, about 45 minutes ago, Luka Doncic is on fire in the first half. 30 points, 12 of 17 shooting.
I bet you if you watch the end of that game, whenever that game's over, you look at that was 45 minutes ago they did that?
Yeah, it might
look
be
at the stats
over
right now. I bet you he don't have over 40.
Ooh, that's a bold take. Let's see. Y'all want to do over under?
He does not have more than 40 points.
I'll have over 40. 31? 31 in the first half?
30 in the first
He had
half.
30 in the first half.
30 in the first half, and that was 45 minutes ago?
Currently in the third quarter with a minute and 28 left.
Basically,
I'll take over 40.
He is under 40, I bet you.
I'll go over.
He has under. But he has 36 points.
Oh.
Only 6. He wears down. No fault to him. They ask him to do way too much. It's unreasonable. It's unreasonable how much they ask him to do offensively. Quite frankly, I know Luka, credit to him. When Jason Kidd in the playoffs was looking at him yo, bro, give me 2 seconds on defense. He did it, and they won because of that. But if he had decided to look at Jason Kidd like he crazy, I wouldn't have blamed him. You asked me to do way too much on offense. Way too much. I ain't playing no damn defense. Okay. And that's crazy coming from me because I ain't about that life. You ain't going to play defense. You don't play for me.
Well, all right. That makes sense. I guess they ain't really got much to do over there in Dallas. Maybe they might need to make some trades. All right. So that's the end of the show. Let's get to the last segment. Khalil, final thoughts.
Shout out to Max Verstappen for
taking P1
Grand Prix, taking P1, and breaking the single season record for most wins with 14, passing Michael Schumacher and
Sebastian
Vettel. Yes.
That race was weird.
Very weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
He spent the whole time waiting for somebody to crash or something something to happen.
Historically, Mexico is not the one. Brazil's the one that's kind of more a lot of crazy stuff happened or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of tame. It wasn't really nothing too wild. I didn't appreciate them booing my dog Lewis Hamilton, and I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know what that was about either.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing about. I love Mexico City. Great people. All right.
Great people.
Do nothing wild like that. Shout out to Sergio Perez for taking P3. I thought that was pretty cool. Ferrari, not
rough. Mercedes got 2 races. They're down 40 points.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Mercedes has been pretty good. They're just cars not fast enough to win.
They put it together towards the end of the season. I think next year, run. I think next year they'll be okay.
I heard they made some sort of change to the car, but I don't know what it means. I don't know if it makes them faster or what, but I assume it'll make them faster. But I don't know.
They finally cracked down on us too, man.
They did.
$7 million fine.
Something like that, yeah.
And then something, I guess.
They took away money from your budget.
Yeah.
And I think in wind tunnel time.
Wind tunnel testing time got reduced by 10% or something like that. But I was like, they couldn't have gone over budget that bad. They went over budget by $2 million.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I was just like, ooh.
Goddamn.
But, yeah, it was a very weird race. It was kind of, especially that top 4 was just kind of what it was the whole race.
Yeah, for the most part.
And then it was actually really weird too because they had switched Lewis Hamilton onto the hard tires, and they were basically hoping that the mediums would wear out.
Red Bull would wear out.
Would give out. Race, yeah. But it was weird because it wasn't doing nothing on Verstappen. He was losing time on Verstappen steadily, and there was a point where Sergio Perez was kind of like he was getting to that DRS.
He was creeping on Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
And Lewis Hamilton was telling him as he drove, he's like, "Yo, I don't know why we went on the higher tires.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work."
And you know, it was funny. They actually said at one point that Lewis Hamilton was on the radio. And he was like, "Yo, like these tires, it's not happening." Verstappen's like, he just keeps like, what's his time? They're like, "Oh, you're like 13 seconds back of Verstappen," and then they're like, and he was like, "See that? No, I don't like the tires." And then he's like, and they're like, "But you're 5 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez."
He's like, "Don't tell me who's behind me."
He's like, "I don't care, I got him." I was like, "Damn." But no, it was just weird because like. He wasn't making any inroads on Verstappen, but Perez was like on his ass for a little bit, and then he just like fell out.
He was like within like 3 seconds of him when he was on the.
He got closer. He got in DRS. He was like 0.9.
Yeah, and then they switched over to the hard tires. And that was the end of it.
No, on the hard tire he was like 0.9.
When Lewis was on the hard tire?
Yeah, like Sergio Perez got to like 0.9.
Oh, you're talking about when? Yeah, okay.
Like it was like right when he got the tires hadn't gotten really warm yet. I think it was within his probably first 5 or 6 laps on the hard tire, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, he kind of got it to like 1.3, and it stayed there for a while, and then like right around 10 laps to go, it's like Sergio Perez is just like dropping time like nasty. I'm like, what the hell's going on? They were even talking about other thing. They're like, how is like Lewis isn't making up any ground on Verstappen, but for whatever reason, like Sergio Perez is losing time on Hamilton. Mm-hmm. You know, and he had younger tires, and they were the mediums. Actually, he didn't have younger tires, but they were the mediums.
Strategists, they call them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know.
Dude on the broadcast, they were just like, I don't know, Lewis Hamilton's like just a better driver than Sergio Perez. I'm like, damn, what?
But anyway, I think that's all I got. Fight the power. Oh, and happy Halloween as well.
That's nice.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't know if the Panthers are playing or anything, but like I said, I'm all for this Kachuk kid. He's a menace to society. I like it. That's about it. I don't really have anything else.
All right, great for you. All right, cool. Why you look shocked at him?
There's no way that's all you have to say.
Oh, Manchester United got a win. So we're slowly coming back. We're 5th in the table. We're a point back of Newcastle with a game in hand. So that's good. That's good. Marcus Rashford, shout out to you. Got your 100th career goal for Manchester United. So
good for him.
So nothing else. No other sports teams that you are fans of that might have done anything this week?
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I see what y'all trying to do. Let's get Clayton. Move on. We're not doing that.
See, I said I came on Thursday show. I said what they're trying to do. The Miami Hurricanes, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Jack Garcia was just trying to get some pussy. We've already established that. We've already established that. Brandon, don't go. Oh, when you said it at Twin Peaks,
I didn't say that.
Off the pod.
I did not say that.
Different off the pod.
I did not say
Brandon,
that.
you definitely agreed with me.
I wasn't there.
Oh, did you?
I did not say that.
Did you watch the play? They did a PA.
It was a beautiful play. Read option, bootleg out to the right side.
Tight end wide the fuck open.
Snuck the tight end off the end of the line behind the linebacker. Dude was butt naked open. Jake Garcia said, "No,
it's my time.
My time."
And he barely made it.
Barely made it. Homie,
but he did make
homie
it.
dove to the pylon. He just made it.
Don't act brand new.
I did not say that.
Unbelievable.
He wanted to be the hero.
He just wanted to be the hero. I had to do something with women. Come on.
To be fair, Jake Garcia's accuracy was a little wobbly the whole game. Not a little bit. He was
Yeah, he didn't trust the
terribly
arm.
inaccurate.
He was like, yeah, no, I trust my feet more than my arm.
But he, got it done. Good for them.
Daniel
Good
Jones,
for them.
He ain't no Daniel
formula.
Jones. Don't disrespect Daniel Jones like that.
He
lost.
Did he win today?
Daniel
Mind your
Jones,
business.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Phillies are tied 1-1 in the World